What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Chris Williams, REI, real estate investor, agent, wholesaler, coming at you from Central California right now. Look, if you are a real estate wholesaler, flipper, landlord, real estate agent, you have got to stop and listen to this. Now, for the past 7 years, my number one deal source has always been driving for dollars, right? There's sometimes I spend an hour or two. I drive out through neighborhoods, I write down addresses, I write down the description if they're boarded, vacant, outdated, old roof, whatever that is. Or sometimes as I'm on my way to the office, on my way to an appointment, I'll take a little detour and I will spend 10, 15 minutes just write down a few addresses. Now I get those properties, I put them through PropStream, get the owner information, skip trace, call them, mail them, whatever it is, get the deal. Now I must be honest, for years of doing this same process, I've never once used a Driving for Dollars app. Actually, I used one time and it was really slow. Couldn't do it. I'll talk about that on another video. But still, I have what I would say is almost an archaic system, but it works for me, right? I'll either have a notepad and I'll just write down the street and then I'll write down addresses under that as I drive. Or I have a notes app on my phone. I'll sit there and write the notes out on addresses and stuff. So today I actually used the PropStream app. I think the PropStream app came out maybe about 9-10 months ago or so. I think it was like June or July of 2020. And I have never once used the Driving for Dollars portion of that. So you get to go with me driving through the hood, and you get to see how it works and actually come back to the office. I'll upload it on PropStream.com so you can see that, and I will give you my thoughts on that process. So let's get into that. All right, so I'm just entering the neighborhood that I'm gonna drive for dollars today. I've got the PropStream map here. And this is actually the first time that I've used PropStream mobile app to drive for dollars. So you're actually gonna figure it out as I figure it out. We're gonna do this together today. So I'm gonna drive and I'm just gonna, I'll record drive and then I'm gonna do just drive. Allow while using the app. Yes. Change to always. And it's fine. So we will have to change some settings here. Alright, so this is cool. It's gonna drive with me. Well, it's gonna drive with us as we drive and see. Wow, all these hearted ones. I think these are ones that I've already saved. Let's see. Alright, so as I drive by a property, I'm just gonna click it. So let's go for a drive. Going to try to be a little private and not stick my phone out at people's properties or anything. Funny, this property I parked next to looks a little vacant, but looks like it was recently painted. And I'm gonna click on it right here. I'm just gonna heart it. Property saved. Nice. Details. Sold about 9 years ago. Here's you can add notes here. Nothing, but looks vacant. A couple boarded windows. Now this is my first time using an app, using this app, PropStream's Driving for Dollars, while driving for dollars. So this is actually a much slower process than what I'm used to, as I normally just have, maybe a notepad. I'm just taking notes as I'm driving, trying not to actually look at the paper, but just, kind of take some shorthand notes as I'm driving. So doing this process is a little bit slower than I'm used to, actually way slower than I'm used to. But we're gonna take a drive around and see what happens. Let's go. trying to actually record as I drive might not work all that well. Honestly, on this time, I'm probably just gonna maybe grab like 5 to 10 properties and call it a day. I like this vacant lot here. Ooh, I like that rough apartment too. This is just way, 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 way too slow. Now, if we look at the app here, it last tracked me at the last property that I selected. So it shows that I'm still there, but if you click this little triangle thing, it'll take you back. And here I've got this vacant lot I saw. I'm gonna heart that. Okay, saved. I'm gonna hit this apartment that's right next to it that looked a little rough. I'm gonna look at the details real quick to see. I wouldn't normally do this if I'm trying to go quickly, but okay. This owner is a slumlord and I know they don't sell, so I'm not gonna waste my time with that. I'm right here on this corner. There's another vacant lot I like. Ooh, multifamily. I would build a 4-plex there if I got it at the right price. These two. It's hard to... Okay, now back to me driving. Look, see a couple other hearts, a red heart. Oh, whoops, I meant to do the vacant lot. Oh, it is. Just looks a little off. I like the look of those. I like the looks of those lots. Surprisingly, not really seeing rough houses right now. Not really in a super rough part of town right this second. We'll get there shortly. Look at that. We buy houses with the 800 number. I see a board on the back of an apartment somewhere. Okay, this property is a little rough. Oh, I know this property. I was talking with the owners for a couple years ago. Got it. This one's a little rough. It's at 620, yep. Honestly, if properties are a little rough, I'm really not gonna write any notes. I just know that it's a little rough. Okay, that apartment I saw that's rough is owned by that same slumlord, JD Homes, slumlord of California. They don't sell. Trinity Street. Oh, I can't go that way. It's one way. Come back around here. Can't forget to press that little location button to get back on location. Okay, this house is freaking messed up. Stripping a car, completely boarded. Okay, this corner house looks vacant too. No, it doesn't look vacant. Just a little rough. I'll pull in front of this apartment here. Alright, so I just drove past a house that is boarded. The detached garage in the back is boarded. There was a stripped car in the driveway. It was not only stripped, but it was currently being stripped. Someone was there. My goodness, this phone is not holding up. But anyways, it was being stripped by someone who was hanging over the front of the car. So looked pretty rough. Interestingly enough, as I look at this property, it's all part of a whole little retail thing. It says it's vacant. Okay. I'm gonna add it. Add some notes. Alright, sounds fun. Hood properties come with hood problems. That's just the way it is. You definitely got to be careful. You know, if you're not used to a neighborhood, or... We're going to continue on, though. Continue on. Let's go. You got to be careful when driving for dollars. You got to watch out with what you're driving in front of. You don't want to hit a person, hit a car. I've almost done that. You don't want to hit a dog. I mean, unless you just don't like dogs, whatever. But, you know, if you're in a really rough part of town, you could, you know, find yourself in a rough situation. You know, I've had stuff, you know, people throw stuff at my cars or make the little gun hand signal like they're going to shoot me. But luckily it hasn't happened. I know people who have been shot at while out driving. Thank God it hasn't happened to me. Mainly it's just watching, you know, make sure you don't, mainly it's just watching, you know, make sure you don't run a stop sign, make sure you don't hit somebody or hit a car. Vacant lot, I like that. Missed it. Missed it again, come on. 107 looks stinking rough, okay, calm down. Seven looked rough. I think right next to it looked rough. I think yellow heart means it's on some list. I'm actually doing this on my iPad. So, and then, you know, filming on my phone. So if I was using the app on my phone, where it's just kind of a click away, 823, that looked pretty rough. That one, no. This one. You know, if I just had my phone in my hand doing it, it would be easier. 141, I wholesaled that. I'm not gonna show. It's stinking rough. Picked up a house there a few years ago for...
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
For $7 grand. Little 400 square foot house here in Fresno. Picked it up for $7 grand or $8 grand. And I wholesaled it for 12. This was like back in 2014, 2015. All these super cheap houses.
Could you try
Oh my gosh! All these super cheap houses that picked up years ago. 10, 15 grand. Hood houses. You know, wishing now that I would have kept them as rentals. So driving for dollars, using my phone to film, and using the app on the iPad, I find it to be quite difficult. So what I'm probably going to do, stop recording, pull up the app on my phone, maybe drive around for 20-30 minutes, because I don't want to crash. And I feel like I'm missing properties, you know, because I'm thinking about this camera here. Also looking down on my iPad. And it's an iPad too. It's a big iPad. It's big. It's taking up space. So what I'm gonna do it on my phone, not record, but then in the office I'll show you what you do after that. Okay, so that was the PropStream Driving for Dollars feature on their mobile app. Now, lots of pros and cons. You know, I feel like it's a little slower than what I'm used to. However, it's more organized, right? I'm not having to worry about some random Excel sheet or some random notebook that I might lose, or maybe my phone crashes, iCloud runs out of space and I can't access those notes. Unfortunately, that has happened before, right? I've dropped my iPhone and they can't access those notes because I ran out of space. You know, too cheap to pay $9.99 a month for a few extra gigs. So here with the app, that major pro is it's all in one place. The owner information is right there, so I'm not having to find addresses and then go find who the owner is, where their mailing address is. It's right there in the app. Also, you can have team members in PropStream. So if you send people driving, or maybe you have a bird dog on your team, you can give them access to that app to then start loading that up. You can also assign those leads to certain people, which is great. You know, it's all in one place. It's very informative. There's lots of information right there, which honestly is a huge pro. Some of the cons of that, to be honest, is the speed seems to be dependent on your internet connection, which of course I think any app is. So where I was at today, even though it may show 4 or 5 bars with AT&T, that area of town is spotty with cell connection. So there's some times where it just seems like it takes a minute to load. There's a few times where clicking on a property, it just wasn't doing anything, right? Nothing would come up. But I did find out a quick way to add a property. Just hold down your finger over that property and it will just automatically save it. I don't know what just happened to the lighting. It just changed. Should be fine. I think it'll be fine. It looks a little weird, a little bright. So the process of trying to pull up that property to save it seemed to slow me down a little bit, where normally I just drive and I write, or I drive and I talk to text right into my phone, and I don't really have to stop. Where this time today, I stop a lot. So it takes extra time. In general, if you're in kind of a not so safe part of town, that makes it a little sketchy, you know, stopping and going. So that is a con as well. It's just a little slower than what I'm used to. But again, the pros of everything being in one place may be a benefit, right? It may be a benefit for me. I think I may try it a few more times, see if I can kind of narrow it down again. Today was actually my first time using that app. Now, another pro is actually that you can track your route, right? So you know when the last time you drove through that neighborhood, and now you're not double driving, you're not sending a team member through the same neighborhood that you've already driven, and it tracks your time that you've spent out there too, right? So you know you drove out an hour and you only got 10 properties, well, maybe that area is not worth it. You know, for me, I'm used to driving out an hour and, you know, maybe writing down 50 to 100 properties. So I want to know that my time is being best used in the right area. That's a huge pro of being able to track that as well. So let me know what you think. Do you use the PropStream app? Do you use the Driving for Dollars app? Do you use another app for Driving for Dollars? I'm going to be checking out a couple other ones. I know there are lots out there. Be looking at those trials, testing them out, and I will document that to show you and really to help you figure out and help myself figure out, are these Driving for Dollar apps worth it? Are they worth it for me? Are they worth it for you? Even still, with the pros and cons of the app, I still use PropStream desktop version every single day to run comps, to pull motivated sellers, to find cash buyers, to look at market data, especially when I get out of town leads and I need MLS access. So if you don't have PropStream, get the 7-day free trial below. Also, you can join the Facebook group PropStream Mastermind. There's over 4,000 members that are there every day talking about PropStream. Let's grow our business together. Like the video, subscribe. See you next time.